Hello everyone, it's the Random Guy here. First time using my actual voice, so today we're going to be explaining the main line of the Backrooms. So, starting off with level 0, it is a class 1 difficulty, which means it's safe, secure, and minimal entity count. It is a non-linear space, obviously, that goes on for 6 million square miles throughout the Backrooms of level 0, along with its mono-yellow walls, damp carpet, and the wild fluorescent lights that buzz throughout the halls. So, nothing special in level 0, besides that hallucinations are likely to happen here. At times, level 0 can alter its shape due to it being non-linear. Right now, it's devoid of life, and you cannot encounter any other entity or wanderer here as of right now. And if you were to hear or see anything, it's probably a hallucination, since people be losing their minds in this level. So, the exits, well, no, entrances, you have to no-clip reality, simple as that. To exit the level, you need to no-clip in order to enter level 1. But be aware, throughout venturing through level 0, if you were to see red wallpaper and dim lighting, do not go there, because that'll be your first and last mistake if you do that. Or it could just happen anytime, so I just go slow. So take your time here, since this is the first level, so no need to worry here. There's also something called the Manila Room here, which can appear once you venture long enough. And I think that's it as of right now. Nothing else is important. One more thing is that what no clipping is, basically in a video game, no clipping is where your character walks through walls or goes through the floor or ceiling. So basically, in real life, if you were to no-clip, you'd have to sprint through a wall that seems out of place in your home, aka reality, and you end up here in level 0. And I don't think there's anything else here. Just make sure you don't stay here for too long, otherwise you lose your sanity in this level. Might be the first level, but it is not the best for staying here, because the amount of loneliness will make you go insane. So, good luck, and we'll move on to the next level. Alright, so moving on to the next level, which is level 1, the habitable zone, which is classified as a class 1, safe, secure, minimal entity count. So, this place is a endless sprawling warehouse full of resources, which have almond water and other useful stuff, though at times they can be pretty useless. There's also hallways in this level that are mainly the safe parts in this level, because this level isn't really habitable, because there's an event called the blackout event, which is where all of the lights go out for a certain amount of time, and entities such as hounds, skin stealers, smilers, clumps, and others come out of the darkness. So, take your time here, because you never know when a blackout event will occur, so make sure you're not rushing everywhere at times. There's also other sectors for this level, but that'll be explained another time. But, honestly, the way to enter this level is to no-clip. After no-clipping at level 0, you'll be ended up here. For the exits, finding a maintenance room, which is the main exit, will lead to level 2. There's also other exits, but they can be looked at in the wiki.dot. So, oh, and one more thing, there's also bases here. The main bases, such as Base Alpha, Tom's Diner, and all that other stuff. Yeah, they'll be pretty helpful for you, and yeah, they're pretty safe, so if there's ever a blackout, just so you know, be safe in those areas. Now, one more thing there's one level, well, sub-level, that could be very dangerous if you aren't aware. So, it's also in a sector as well, but it's more of a sub-level. This level, well, sector is the, garden sector, and it's the worst one to be in. So, if you see any vines or grass around the area, make sure you leave immediately, because, that means you might be getting close to the garden sector, which is the worst one to be in. So, make sure you're careful, and make sure you look for the exits. Just don't go no clipping in the ceiling of this level. You'll just end up in level fun, and that is the worst place to go to ever. So, good luck, and we'll see you on level 2. Alright, so now that we are moving on to level 2, this level is classified as a class 3 difficulty, which is a big jump. Unsafe, unsecure, and a low entity count. So, to start off with the basics, level 2 is an endless utility hallway full of pipes and dim lighting. Sometimes these pipes can burst and burn your skin, and they're even claustrophobic at times. There's even some items here, similar to level 1. There could be almond water, but that's rare. The main stuff here are toolboxes, wood piles, machine pieces, and other stuff. Another thing about level 2 is there's a base, I think, called Office Space EL3A, which I'm sure you could be protected by. If you find it, you should be able to know you're there once you see the expansive room. Honestly, there's entities here, such as death moths, skin stealers, smilers, hounds, wretches, etc. One more thing about level 2, sometimes there can be, well, never mind. The entrances and exits, well, honestly, like I said in level 1, you need to find a maintenance room, and you'll end up here. To exit, just keep wandering, and you might find a door that could lead to level 3, but I'd rather try the other exit since level 3 is real dangerous. So, yeah, and I hope you have a good time here, because it's not going to be safe. It's your, first challenge throughout the Backrooms if you end up here. So, good luck, and, we'll see you in level 3. Alright, now we are moving on to level 3, or also known as the electrical station, which is your first true challenge since it's classified as a class 4 difficulty, which means it's unsafe, unsecure, and has a medium entity count. So level 3 is endless, full of hallways similar to level 0, along with its fluorescent lighting, and alright. It has some brick walls, and it has doors that can lead to the rooms of level 3. There are also pipes in this level that you have to avoid since they leak a acidic substance that could damage your body, so let's not go into that. Don't forget, this is a class 4, so also you should be entities such as, oh boy, hounds, facelings, wretches, male and female death moths, very bad. Skin stealers, doers, smilers, quamps, and bursters that all inhabit level 3, okay? On the bright side, there's items in this level such as almond water, liquid paint, drinking death, fire salt, and other items that are useful for you to defend against entities. So honestly, there's bases here, but most of them are dangerous, so it's not even worth going for that. Just look for the MEG one. Now let's move on into the entrances. So like I said, you can enter from level 2 by its maintenance door, or any other entrances that you come from. And for the exit, just enter an elevator and you end up in level 4, which is the safest one. So don't go look for any other exit, because level 4 is the easiest exit. just be aware of the entities because you are likely to encounter one or two. So, yeah, that's about it. So, we'll be seeing you in level 4, which will be the first safe level throughout the main 9 levels of the Backrooms. Now that we're moving on to level 4, it is the first safe level in the main 9, so it's a class difficulty of 1, safe, secure, minimal entity count. There's only like 2, if I'm correct. Honestly, one detail about level 4, it's a huge storage of almond water, which can be found commonly. So, on to the point, level 4 is a empty office building, which has these windows, though most of them are completely blacked out, and if you see any windows that aren't blacked out, don't go near them because they could be a window entity. So, about the entities, there's hounds and doors, that's all they know, though some think there's a smiley here in the dark areas, but there's variant entities to prove that. So, the bases, the main one, which I think you should go for, is one of the biggest meg bases, which is base Omega, obviously. So yeah, try to go there. Now, onto the entrances, honestly, go to the elevator and level 3, you'll be there. The second entrance is to no-clip into a wall in the hub, and finally, the third one, find an unlocked door in level 2. Now, for the exits, there should be doors or something to enter level 5 and level 6. Though, there could be an elevator that could lead right back to level 3, if I'm correct. And there is one more exit here, but it's best not to go to. And that is entering the basement level 4 will lead to level 71. Why not go there? Because it's dangerous and it leads to the shady gray, which will be explained another time. So yeah, level 4 is one of the safest levels in the main 9. It has a huge supply of almond water and barely has any entities here, along with a couple of bases that are pretty armed. So yeah, that seems like a good thing for level 4. Not much here since level 4 still hasn't gotten its rewrite, so still good overall, and good luck, and we'll see you in level 5. Alright, now we are moving on to level 5, which is also known as the Terror Hotel, which has a class difficulty of 2, unsafe, unsecure, and no entity counts. So, level 5 takes place in a hotel that seems to be from the 90s, along with furniture that seems to be from the 20th century. Now, when you're in level 5, throughout the level, you'll hear the smooth jazz in the level, and it's always heard everywhere. The level is also always clean, so if you try to make a mess, the level will just clean itself. Now, others reported strange anomalies in this level, such as hearing party chatter and a strange presence around them throughout the level, which could be doing with the base of level 5, but we'll continue soon. So there's 3 main zones in this level, which are the main hall, the beverage room, and the boiler room. So we'll start off with the main hall first, which is where you start at. So here, the walls are covered in a mahogany red and gold ornate wallpaper. Others have reported that the walls seem to stare at you, but that's unconfirmed. The floors also come in variations such as dark walnut wood, white marble, and exotic red and gold carpets. The halls here are always furnished with decorations, bookshelves, and etc. The main hall even has chandeliers in this level, which mainly light out the larger rooms in the main hall. And there's even a similar buzz, similar to level 0. One more important thing about the main hall, there's these elevator shafts in the main hall, which can be modern to antique. In the elevators, there's like 382 buttons. If you go to floors 1 through 12, it'll take you to another part of the level. But if you go beyond 12, yeah, you might be done for, because whoever goes beyond 12 floors, they're just never seen again, or just died. Okay, now let's move on to the bedroom next, which is the second part of level 5. It's also known as the Eternal Ballroom. It's mainly the main hub area for level 5. It's a very spacious room with many doors on all sides. The amount of doors can be random, which will go over hundreds, by the way. In the center of the room, there's a fancy table in the center, which is illuminated by a large chandelier. On the table, there's drinks and unfinished games here. Trying to finish these games were unsuccessful. There's not much here on the beverly room, but one more thing about it, it's also the way to enter the main hall and the boiler rooms. Any entries to the beverly room will be labeled by its name on the door with silver plating. Now let's move on to the boiler room, which is the most dangerous part of all. So, the boiler room is a fairly large and cluttered space full of old machinery and industrial pipes. The layout here can always be confusing and claustrophobic, and the fact that these pipes can burst and kill you. So the pipes here seem to leak out almond water, which the pressure of the water is always the reason why the pipes break anyways. The temperatures here in the boiler room are always at a very hot state, so make sure not to touch any very dry and hot surfaces to not be burned. People also heard whispering in the boiler room, which gives the wanderer paranoia. There's even maintenance elevators in the boiler room, but they are recommended to be used for unknown reasons. Typically, there was supposed to be, or theoretically, a fourth area named the lobby room. No one knows how to enter though, unfortunately, since any wanderer that has entered will get an anomaly within a week, which forces them to forget and tell others they're not supposed to know. I wouldn't figure out myself anyways, but if I were to guess, it probably has something to do with the beverly room, since that's the entrance to other parts of the level. Now, the entities here, the most common ones are actually death moths, since level 5 is their main nest throughout the backrooms, which means you'll be encountering the most aggressive versions of death moths. There's other entities here, such as hounds, woodwinds, skin stealers, wretches, watchers, sweepers, growlers, death rats, and the beasts of level 5, while 2 more theoretical encounters, such as ants and wranglers. There's also another specific entity here known as Samantha, who is a female black intelligent cat, so she to speak. If you're going to approach her, make sure to bring some high quality meat. Now for the bases here, there's Mag Housekeeping, which is the most recommended one to find, since they can help you to traverse the boiler room and protect others. There's others such as the Homely Hotel and the originals. They aren't that important. The final base, known as the Lost Hall Society, it's created by an unknown species who spend time collecting and researching geographical information and have high knowledge. Now, for the entrances and exits, for the main ones, you could access an elevator from level 3 or enter a staircase on level 4. There's also others such as using an arcade in level 25, finding a damaged door in level 119, certain doors in level 4.2, and etc. For the exits, you could go back to the elevator to go back to level 3, or go back up the staircase for level 4. Travel forward in the boiler room to enter level 6, not recommended. A flickering can occur in level 5, and a wooden door should appear. Entering that will transport yourself to level 427, which is known as the wood rooms. And there's other exits that you can see in the wiki doc for each level. I'll put in the description. So This level was the most unique so far, despite having so much information and unique anomalies, so I consider this a good level, as long as you stay away from the boiler room nor lose hope, so you don't likely encounter the beast of level 5, but with that out of the way finally, let's go on to level 6, which is Lights Out. Alright, moving on to level 6, which is Lights Out. So, the class difficulty is a pending, which means its safety is undetermined, it's unsecured, and we don't know if there's any entities. So right off the bat, there's very little information here, so this part might be short. It's also dark here. Nobody knows what the actual structure of level 6 is. And also, no light is emitted in this level. And if you do bring a light source here, it just won't have no function. Now, any navigation of level 6 is being carried out by feeling one's way through the darkness. So, like, if you just gotta hug a wall. That's it. That's the only way through traveling the darkness. So yeah, the walls seem to be made out of a smooth, cold material, which likely is concrete. In addition to being dark, level 6 is silent and soundproof. So honestly, like I said, to explore level 6, you need to subject yourself from a slow journey by hugging the wall, and you might get freaked out by the utter isolation, but as long as there's no entities here, I think you should be fine. As such, most people who spend more than a few minutes in level 6 have reported feeling paranoia, dread, anxiety, and rising tension due to the darkness and don't know what could be watching them. Several witnesses have also reported auditory hallucinations, such as scuttling sounds, breathing, or whispering, which could happen if you spend way too long in level 6. So yeah, level 6 is regarded as one of the most dangerous levels, obviously, so yeah, that's bad for an early level. But investigations have shown that as of now, no entities have been found, so that's nice. Nobody has seemed to leave level 6, only very few have. The bases here, there's the world's quietest room. It's only occupied by a single person. Yeah, whoever it is, it seems to be unsuccessful to talk to this person. It seems the single person who takes control of this world's quietest room has discovered a light switch that works or something. So if someone were to make their way and beg any onlookers to flip the switch, any wanderers who discover this outpost, if it exists, are advised to not flip the switch. One more thing here of level 6, there's something called mimicry. It's also a base. It's a community around 4 people who claim to have adapted to level 6 darkness. Each of these 4 unknown individuals have been proven to mimic any sound they hear perfectly, even voices. So this community is to be avoided at all costs because they are aware of any threat they pose. So the entrances and exits, to enter, you gotta go for the boiler room in level 5. Another entrance is near Base Omega in level 4. And that's all the entrances we know for level 6, so should be rare. To exit, if you go down a stairwell, which hear the sound of waves, you'll be entered to level 7. Yeah, taking a wrong turn at a point in the level may block off an access to level 7. The entrance back to level 5, obviously, finding a large metal door that feels cold, will lead to level 129. Accidentally tripping over a wire can also lead to level 6.1. So yeah, that's it. Level 6 seems to be a dangerous, dark level, which has mimics in this level, which is pretty bad. Don't forget, you can't even see anything, so you're pretty much doomed if you can't find a way out of here. So yeah, let's move on to level 7. Alright, now let's move on to level 7, which is a class 4 difficulty, which is unsafe, unsecure, and medium entity count. So level 7 is actually the second true challenge throughout the main 9, since it is very dangerous despite while it works in the ocean. But anyway, level 7 is a large ocean that stretches infinitely in all directions, despite the absence of fixed light resources. There's a dim natural light across the level. Detailed exploration of this ocean is sparse due to the danger, which we will get to later. So there's two areas, which is the entrance area and the main area. But let's just see what that has for us later. Level 7 is a large, unexplored ocean, but is understood composed of two rooms, which I said, the entrance room and the main area, with high concrete ceilings suspended above the water. The entrance room appears to be the most readily available point of entry to level 7. There's the stairs that you came from on level 6. This entrance obviously is the most active point since the only safe part. The room is fully furnished with bookcases at the left wall. The books are strange. There's a small coffee table, a single chair, and a fluorescent ceiling lamp. And the carpeted floor is covered with shallow pool water, in case you didn't know. If anyone were willing to traverse through level 7, they should be aware of the gravity that can change once you leave the entrance room, because the entrance room and the main area are different, since once you leave the entrance room, you just get flipped sideways and slammed to the ocean. The vast majority of level 7 is composed of the ocean outside of the entrance. The door to the entrance room is located on the fixed spot on the concrete ceiling, roughly 4.5 meters above the surface of the water. Though the water surrounding the entrance is barren, wanderers traveling far enough across the surface have discovered islands made by unknown rock, which are mostly uninhabited. We'll get to that later on bases. So the ocean of level 7 is uncharted, but the exploration suggests that the entire level is completely devoid of life, obviously. Now let's move on to these zones that level 7 has, starting off with the daylight zone. So the daylight zone is the first and safest area of level 7. It's the most well illuminated part of the level 7 ocean, being slightly less dim than the surface. Very little else can be said about the zone, because it's safe. So let's move on to the twilight zone. So just like the daylight zone, this time it is roughly a kilometer below the surface of the water. The twilight zone is significantly darker and colder. In case you didn't know, the further you go down, the colder it will be. So this zone contains loose bones and scraps of rusted metal, as well as the first sightings of full skeletons. These skeletons are often humanoid with noticeable differences, including much larger jaws, sharp teeth, etc. So several skeletons of large unearthly fish have also been spotted, many of which are covered in bite or scratch marks, which could have been due to two entities in this level. The water pressure is said to be quite strong by this point, yet as it appears that no point in level 7 is the pressure great enough to crush the human skeleton. However, due to pressing dangers, explorers are willing to travel this far or further down, or are advised to leave as quickly as possible. So let's move on to the midnight zone. So it is estimated to be around 3 kilometers below the twilight zone. The midnight zone is completely dark. There's more skeletons down here that are found, and almost all are just humanoid entities previously mentioned. There have been reports of incredibly large fish-like skeletons in the midnight zone, but the skeletal structures of these creatures have been, incomprehensible. Now, the last zone, which is called the Abyss, any depth below 7 kilometers from the surface is considered to be too dangerous to explore, with the longest reported exploration of the Abyss lasting under just 2 minutes. So the Abyss is sparsely decorated with mountainous piles of tar and rock, with a steady bubbling emitting from an unknown source below. This zone is densely populated by the aforementioned humanoid skeletons, most of which have been eroded in some regard by the immense pressure. Little else is known about the depths of the waters aside from the ruins of a cave entrance that leads to level 8 and the presence of the Fang on level 7. Speaking of that Fang, let's move on to the entities, which is the Fang on level 7, which works in the Midnight Zone and the Abyss, and another entity called Tiny has been discovered, which works the Daylight and Twilight Zone, but not as common. So as of now, Tiny has shown to limit himself to the Daylight and Twilight Zones, like I said, where the Fang on level 7 makes its home in the Midnight and Upper Abyss. It is unknown on how or why, but the two appear to have an agreement of mutually assured destruction. Don't know why. So, let's move on to bases, which is Fort Surrender, now post on the closest reported island. Don't even go to their outpost because they'll be hostile, and that's the only base. So let's move on to entrances. So, like I said, the only way to enter level 7 is through a staircase on level 6, which leads directly to the entrance room. There are rumors of a possible entrance through a portal 4 on level 8. So the most well-known exit to level 7 can be found in the underwater cave, which leads to level 8, like we said. Though it is strongly discouraged, diving into the abyss and going unconscious directly leads to level 83. Don't try that. And there's some other exits that are too unsafe. But with that out of the way, let's finally move on to the last level of the main 9, which is level 8. Alright, now we're moving on to the last level, which is level 8, which is known as the cave system. It's a class 5 difficulty, which means it's unsafe, unsecure, and it has an entity infestation. So this is the last level of the main 9, so its environment is enclosed, a sprawling network of underground caves. Its web of tunnels is interwoven into a suffocating prison. It is cold, dark, and fraught with peril, predators lurking at every turn. The structure and layout, by the standards of normal reality, this architecture of levels most prior reassemble artificial constructions. Level 8, in contrast, runs wild. Unlike other domains such as the sewers of level 34, the mines of level 181, or the catacombs of level 499, level 8 is generally free of vestiges of human engineering composed predominantly of organic karst caves. Even today, humanity's attempts to civilize this untamed space remains futile, and its natural forces reign unchecked. Its rocky passages are savage, feral, and unformidable. In terms of the size of OA, it's basically infinite. Most segments, entrance, and exits are clustered closely within a long cylindrical zone, approximately 60 miles in length and 2.5 miles in radius. New passages, furthermore, are continually discovered, and the vast majority of the level has yet to be explored. Its true depth remains unknown. So, the non-standard physics, it is, like many preceding levels, it is subject to the characteristic spatial distortions of the Euclidean geometry. In other words, space itself functions in a non-linear fashion within these caves. An approximately straight passageway may lead back on itself. Taking the same path a second time may lead into a different chamber. Turning back may not return one to where they came from before. So the confusion of this experience is only compounded by erratic gravitational forces. Gravity fluctuates in magnitude and changes direction from cavern to cavern. Sometimes even within a single cave itself, these extra shifts are chaotic, unpredictable, and fairly perplexing. At its very worst, successful navigation through level 8 has seemed to be unsuccessful. There's even tips on level 8, but I might as well give them to you right now. So the first tip, there are predatory insects in this level. So if you go near a nest from the arachnids of level 8, we'll get to those in a second. You get near their nest, get away as soon as possible, because it is like a lot it's like a what is a wasp nest, but bigger. The second tip, make sure you're not going to any enclosed spaces that you can't fit through, because you get yourself stuck, or likely the chance to be sent to level 8.1, since no one knows how to get there, and that's the only theoretical entrance to it. Level 8.1 is dangerous. The last tip I have to give, don't stay in the waters in this level for too long, because you can suffer hypothermia from them. So, yeah, and always make sure to stay hydrated. So, on for the entities here, well, like I said, there's the Arachnids of level 8, but there's also other entities like Wranglers, Skin Stealers, Milers, Wretches, Clumps, Crawlers, Camel Crawlers, and all other entities. Yeah, very, very infested. And there's even an entity called Hands of Tar, so make sure you're not getting near any tar-like substance. So, yeah, don't get near that. So as for the entrances and exits, the way you can enter level 8 is by walking through a specific dark hallway in level 103 that will lead you to the caverns of this level. Wandering through a deep, dark concrete cave in level 2.1 may lead on to level 8. Jumping into a wall in 103.5, small tunnels in 4.1. Some of the multicolored playground tubes in level 283 can turn into rocky tunnels of level 8's caves. Now for the exits, there is vents in the ceiling of the rotting jungle part of this level that can lead to level 2. Entering a tar pit may cause one to be dragged into level 41 or 91, but don't do that because it might not work. Entering a silvery substance in the cavern may lead one to level 75. No clipping through certain walls can lead one to level 93. A door in a cave near a Harmoth camp is noted to lead to level 203. No clipping can lead one to 205. And falling through the floor will lead to level 69. Or you could just go through a tunnel and you'll be sent to level 9 or 11 with a rare chance. But yeah, that's it. We covered all the levels of the main 9. And I say this was a pretty good video for sure. So what I gotta say about the main 9, it's been a classic for a while. Some levels received huge rewrites, such as like level 8, that's a good example. And yeah, I think that's about it. So finally, I guess this is a goodbye. So see you in the next video.